Hey everybody. Welcome to Mead Hall Live. What's up?
Hey guys.
How's everybody doing tonight? We are just chilling out. Probably need to fix that one camera.
Excuse the music.
Yeah. Daniel's head's cut off on a camera, so.
I'm also not short.
Yeah, I'm missing the table, but that's okay.
It's all good.
It's all good. Alright, so that just went off on its own. What's up with that? It stopped, then it started again. That's kind of weird. Why is it still going? Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry, that was our crypto cord. And he walked by it, then it went off, as it should. Stopped and went off again. Anyway, welcome to Mead Hall Live, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, we did go. We did have our premiere tonight, obviously, and
The
stage. So basically, what we did
Turn it up.
is we focused on the stage at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in this first premiere episode of our return to the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. And I am not seeing that we're live. I don't work like that, buddy. I'm not seeing that we're live on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to, we're still trying to get everything squared away here. Says we're live. Interesting. So anyway, she's over here munching. I don't know why. We had a really good dinner tonight.
Just a little bit hungry still. She's got the munchies.
So, yeah.
All right, last time maybe.
So yeah, so the first few minutes of tonight's premiere, we were, I basically went over some history of the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame and the surrounding area. And then we basically focused on the stage. And believe it or not, we actually found some pretty cool stuff on the stage. We had really, Daniel and April had some really good interaction. So during that time, did you feel like you were making an actual connection there?
A little bit.
A little bit? I'm not seeing that we're live on YouTube at all. It says we're live. So I don't know. I don't know what's up. Is there anybody out there who can tell us that we're actually live on YouTube? Because I'm not seeing it for some reason. Not seeing it at all. It says we're live. Anyway, if
Yes.
who's got Facebook pulled up?
I have Facebook pulled up.
So yeah, we look at that. Look at that.
Heck yeah.
Folks, Spirit might be alive tonight in this house, and let me tell you something.
Well, ish.
Ish. Yeah. I hear you there. Let me tell you something. This is the house for it to happen in too.
Shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
It said one. One house.
One house. Interesting.
You put like one ring.
Yeah, I am not seeing that we're live on YouTube at all.
I know I shouldn't be eating while we're doing this, but these are too good.
Well, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. So we're just gonna keep going because I know we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, keep rolling.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
faux show.
So we did get some great responses on the stage.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Yeah.
I mean, you know, with an ITC app, sometimes, or an ITC program, or even
ITC
like
device,
like what we've got here with the Chatter Guys,
or an Ovilus, or anything like that.
some of them are just going to throw out names randomly, see what sticks.
Random word generators.
But we use an ITC app that we also use in correlation with our Chatter Guys. And
Well, I got a little story about that later.
you know, sometimes they'll correlate big time. Sometimes they'll start just throwing random things out. Not so much the Chatter Guys. The Chatter Guys is usually more on par with what's going on. But you know, with your apps, you've got to be careful. But that night, we were getting solid answers, solid things that would have had impact on the storehouse that was there, that was a freight depot that we were at. And, you know, things like gin, as in the alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
I mean, how many times throughout history have we had issues with,
What's that?
let's say, phone?
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway.
With alcohol within our United States of America.
Well, and not only that, the first few minutes of the premiere, I spoke about one of the guys being hung who
whiskey
was busted for introducing whiskey near Tahlequah. And so I said, you know, it may not have, yes, he might have gotten in trouble for whiskey, but that doesn't mean that was the only thing he was bringing in.
Very true. I mean, gin is, nobody knows. Gin is older than even the invention of whiskey within the British Isles. I mean, by about 150 to 200 years. I would have to look. It's quite a bit older. Just a different way of distilling and processing. Not as nasty as what people were brought to do during the Prohibition era of the United States, but still, I mean, the Beefeater gin is called Beefeater gin because it was pretty much made in an effort to pay the Beefeaters, which were high-ended soldiers that guarded the castle within Great Britain.
And this is why he's our historian, because I knew nothing of why Beefeater gin was called Beefeater gin. So I just learned something just now. Yeah.
The Beefeaters were actually the guards of the Buckingham Palace were called originally, because they were some of the only people in the country that were allowed to eat beef other than royalty.
Wow. I had no idea. Who else knew that? I didn't know that. I had no idea.
History's wild, guys. Some of the stuff that even we say has wild origins.
And so I'm going to credit, even though I voiced the history in the premiere, I only did that out of, I had to. We can't always, get our times together. So anyway, he's the one who pretty much researched everything and, found all the research. And I, did a little bit of it with him when we first went there, but he pretty much did all the research, and I just kind of picked up where he left off and went and did some searching, and because I knew that some of the areas like I think you were the one who actually found the Guthrie Daily Ledger to begin with, and that's how we found out about the hanging. So I remembered that. Anyway, so I credit him with the research. I just voiced it. Trust me, that was all his work, not really mine. But that's an interesting tidbit, because I had no idea that was the case. I mean, I didn't know that. I had no clue. So, hey, learned something tonight.
I know things.
I do things.
I may not look or act like it, but I do know things.
What did I just say?
We were talking about castles.
Battlements. Oh, wow. Chattergeist just said battlements. Wow. Okay, so I got to speak on this.
Go. I love
I'm
that.
crazy. While we were at Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, I was talking to these guys. For some reason, we got on a subject, and I was talking about my two older sisters when we were young, growing up. They were involved with the Dallas Dinner Theater. And one of the plays that they did was Brigadoon. If you've ever heard of Brigadoon. Because you don't hear about Brigadoon and Sound of Music as much as we did, 30 years ago, 35, 40 years ago. And 40 years ago, I was 9 years old, almost 10. So, and I was younger. I was like 6, 7. So, anyway, and I have proof of this, and I showed April that night, and I meant to show Dan here, but I kind of forgotten, we got busy, but I did show him later. I actually got on the Chattergeist the word Brigadoon, not 10 minutes later after that conversation. Yeah. And I have a photo, because cameras weren't rolling, we were taking a break, and bam, it hit, and I was like, holy crap. So I took a picture of it, because literally we were just talking about that. And so anyway, I guess the whole point of that is getting these, using these, what we were talking about doing, using the ITC devices, and the apps and whatnot. We do use two different ones, Chattergeist, and I know that, and I'm going to say the name, even though I don't like to because they don't pay me. But we do use the GhostTube app, and here's why. And I know there's a lot of people who frown on that, but there's also a lot of people who use it. And here's why I like to use it, and here's why I've introduced it to this group, is because I've used the GhostTube app for years, and I have tried many, many different apps, like everybody does. The Necrophonic was popular for a while. If it still is, I don't know. I never wanted to pay for that app. I figured I have an SB7, so why pay for a Necrophonic when it's relatively the same? Eliminated.
You're talking about apps you
so the Chattergeist just said eliminated, which is funny because I literally eliminated apps. Spirit Talker, I used it for a while, did not care for it. I know some groups who use Spirit Talker specifically and only, exclusively Spirit Talker. I'm not a big fan of that app personally. I have used different apps.
Not to say that other people...
No, they may have, but time and time again, I look for a few things when it comes to this app. and it's relevance. And some people don't like repetition, but I do. I think repetition is something good when it comes to the apps.
I like repetition.
I like repetition. I look for repetition, and I look for relevance.
Because repetition isn't random.
Say that again.
Repetition isn't random.
Repetition isn't random. I love that, and that's exactly what I think about it as well. And the GhostTube app, in my opinion, has been solid from the outstart. I've been using GhostTube app for about 5 years, and I don't know how long it's been around, but I've been using it for that long, and off and on because I've used others, but that's the only one I'll use now. It's the only app I really care to use. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that everything that comes out of the GhostTube app is legit, on point, and perfect, and no, I don't. But that's why we look for relevance and repetition.
But at the same time, it depends on where you're at.
It does.
Because around here, a lot of what, and there we go, there's your repetition.
Eliminate it again. And Chattergeist just said eliminate it again.
Around here, a lot of what we get that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, I believe wholeheartedly is spirits communicating across to one another, and we're just picking it up.
Very well could be.
Because, I mean, we've
witnessed.
We're in such a prime spooky location.
So again, those of you who don't know, the house we're in right now is literally feet away from a very old, it's called the Shakota Indian Territory Cemetery.
It was closed
1912.
212 years ago.
So, it was closed 1912.
Yeah.
112.
112.
So it was closed. This cemetery.
Leave me alone.
The last person who was buried there was 112 years ago. And we are literally feet away from it. That's why it's our research site, because we're right here. We can go there anytime. And we need to get back in there because there's some things we still need to look for the witch's grave. We need to look for the black cat. There's things we need to do, and it's an amazing cemetery, even though it's relatively small, but it's actually a lot bigger than what we know because a lot of the headstones have been weathered away, moved, damaged, never even put there to begin with. I mean, there are more souls in that graveyard than the headstones that are out there, if that makes any sense. So, anyway, this house is very active, and I've had my experiences myself in this house, and I'm here, bare minimum once a week, sometimes a little bit more, but bare minimum once a week. And what did it say?
It's a store.
Store.
Like, one of these stores that are right around the cemetery are actually part of the cemetery.
Well, so if you remember...
I wouldn't doubt that my house right here is built
wasn't
over.
part of the... Yeah. There's definitely issues with that. Border issues, for sure. Because
that's been proven because whenever they pulled all these trees out of here...
I was just about to say.
They found gravestones that hadn't been uncovered in decades.
So for the longest, for many years, this cemetery was overgrown with trees and brush. And they cleared it all out to preserve it because, I think they did put it on like the Oklahoma National, or the Oklahoma...
The registry.
The registry for at least Oklahoma. Anyway, I don't know about national, but it's on the Oklahoma Historical Registry anyway. So they cleared it out and cleaned it up. And so just last year, 2 years ago, there was an auto, a car dealership. I can't think all of a sudden. A car dealership that was going to build on the west side of where the cemetery sits. Well, they had to clear out some more land of trees and brush and whatnot, and they ended up running into graves and headstones. So
which is, man, they're what, 40 yards minimum away
Yeah.
from the last known
the last known,
headstone?
right? So they had to stop, and then eventually they were given the go ahead, but they had to stop at a certain area of clearing the land. They were given restrictions,
It was
but
a mess.
it was a
is
mess.
What it was.
So there's no doubt that this cemetery is bigger than what was once believed. Because that just said where, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the graves? Because around 1910, 11, and 12, which 1912 is when the cemetery shut down, there was a major, was it a flu epidemic?
Before 1910, there was smallpox, flu, measles. I think it was a common cold outbreak that was killing a bunch of people. I mean, just about anything that you could get.
Doom. Wow.
That
It did spell doom for a lot of people.
I mean, it was here, and about 1910 was whenever the Oklahoma Medical School, which eventually became Oklahoma University, before they started sending doctors out that they were training here in the state, there was nothing to prevent diseases from spreading. And in 1910, Oklahoma had an outburst of, more modern medicine, and the deaths slowed tremendously. It didn't end it because there wasn't a whole lot of things that they could do this far away from larger places that could get things that worked better.
Alexis.
But it helped a ton. And that's why this cemetery is full of kids.
There's a lot of young people buried out there for
I
sure.
think that was probably a measles outbreak or something like that, something early childhood
right, related,
disease
yeah.
that just kill all these kids, and it was over with. I mean,
Holy water.
holy water might have worked.
I'm gonna adjust that light. Sorry, I'm gonna make some adjustments real quick.
Hey, at least you're on that side of the Fullerton. But this.
Yeah, I'm not crossing in front of the crypto cord, that's for sure.
The Oklahoma Territory was very riddled with a lot of just childhood death, early life death. There's not all of the headstones that are over there anymore that used to be, probably because they got prevent. We were talking about diseases.
Yeah.
Most of the headstones that are still standing, I would say 95% of them are under the age of 30. I would say 90% of them are under the age of 20. And 60 to 70% are under 10? But that's the ones that are standing.
Right.
I have not been able to get a record of all of those who are supposed to be buried in there as of this time. But I'm working on it.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at the computer. Oh my goodness, look at that.
You didn't touch that.
No, I didn't touch
Hey,
nothing.
oh.
I know this camera's not seeing it, but we just had a pet ball go off, and we're just sitting here. And hey, guys, not for nothing. I know there's, again, another controversial piece of equipment is the cat ball. I like to call it a pet ball. I just like the name better. When I first started using them, people called them pet balls. Now people are calling them cat balls more. Anyway, regardless of that.
Well, that's what they're selling them as.
Yeah, cat ball, yeah. It is a controversial piece of equipment. Again, I'm going to specify why I like using them. I don't think they're controversial at all because I've used them for a handful of years now. And I have to tell you,
Give me a minute.
yeah, what did I say?
Okay, so you started talking about the cat balls, and I thought, what if we took like a those dingle bells and hung it off of a shoelace? I was thinking this in my head. I did not say it out loud. I got shoelace.
Oh my. Interesting. That is interesting. So,
Sorry for
no, that's
interrupting you.
fine.
That's
That was
your-
good.
your
That's
pet
good
ball, cat
stuff.
ball.
So, at any rate, I have had these pet balls go off when they absolutely should not be going off. I've had good experiences with them. Not for nothing, just a few months back, Daniel and I,
15 minutes.
we have it on video. It's called 15 Minutes of WTF, guys. You got to go check it out on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to take this time to say, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, After Walker Paranormal, Facebook at After Walker Paranormal, Instagram, Twitter, X at Paranormal Green. Okay, all that. TikTok.
That happened today.
Last night.
Last
anyway, so we set a pet ball out. Two. Well, we had three, but two of them were
Yeah.
right there, right?
Yeah, we had two of them almost side
Next
by
to each
side.
other, right?
Yeah.
And okay, these are the same damn pet balls that we use. These are the only three I got. That's the only three we got. I don't have more than three. We've got these three pet
That's going
balls.
to change though.
We're gonna get more, but we've had these three. I've had these three for a while, and I've heard people say, "Oh, when the batteries go down, they go crazy." I don't know what they're talking about, man. When the batteries go dead, they go dead. They don't go crazy. I've never seen. Why would they go crazy? You see these three pet balls right here. Okay, turning it off, turning it on, setting it down, and they won't go off unless they do. Now, I don't even remember which one. We do have these numbered by what we feel
I
like.
actually think it was number 2 and not even number 1.
Okay, so we do have these numbered according to. Oh wow!
That.
It's bam. Okay,
I love that.
I'm sorry, but thank you. Oh, it's going off again.
We're not moving, guys.
We are not. You see us.
There's nobody in the
right here.
background.
Look.
It's still going.
Hello.
Thank you.
So, we had a pet ball start going off in that cemetery, and it lasted on and off for 15 minutes. So long, as much I literally walked a complete 360-degree circumference.
And he was about 35, 40 feet out.
At least 20, but maybe 30. Yeah, it was a pretty good circumference.
Yeah.
Just trying to. I don't know why. I mean, I did it. I started doing it because I guess I wanted to show that it didn't matter that I was moving around it, because we also had our ITC apps going,
Mm-hmm.
and so after the 15 minutes, after I made my circle, I got back to, so I started off on the left side of Daniel. I made my circle around to the right side of Daniel. And then we decided to go for, you said, oh man, I really want to go. I said, let's do it. So what did the app say? The ITC app said,
I went in and I picked up the pet ball that had been going off.
yes.
And it said, "You're annoying."
Annoying me. Yeah, you're
and
annoying.
I set it back down, and it never
Nothing.
went off again.
It said, you're annoying, and nothing. The ITC app, along with the pet ball. So while the pet ball was going off, the ITC app was also saying, scratch, open, claw.
It said claw once.
Claw once, open, angry, because it couldn't get to it.
Yeah, it said angry.
It's almost as if Spirit was sitting there with the pet ball. And it said flashlight.
It said flashlight.
Flashlight. Like
that was the
flashing
first
light.
thing that it said.
That's the first thing it said. Flashlight. So, 13? Was it actually 13 minutes?
It was a little bit longer than that, but I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, it was relatively 15 minutes. At any rate.
But it was great.
It was awesome. And it goes to show that the pet ball, in my opinion, and this is our opinion, the pet ball in conjunction with the GhostTube app, because that's what we were using, we're giving us a hell of a show. I'm sorry, but Spirit was moving through that, and I wholeheartedly believe that, because I had never seen that before that, and I have never seen that since then.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see, yes, we've had a pet ball go off, but it ain't going off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. It went off a few times, and now it stopped. And it may go off again.
I mean,
I'm
gonna tap.
So he
See,
had to
that-
tap pretty
that
hard.
hit
That. And that.
It said this is
And the
strange.
ITC app just said, "This is strange." I mean, he pounded this table hard enough to move the K2.
It made your cup jump up.
And it made my cup jump. And the only pet ball that went off was that one right there. Not this one that was going off earlier. Anyway, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'm just trying to say that's why we use these. It's not the only equipment that we use, but we do incorporate these.
This is strange.
Well, it may be to them. Anyway, we like using them. I'm not going to stop because somebody on TikTok says cat balls are not paranormal investigation equipment. Well, that's that one person's opinion, and that's okay. He may not believe but I would like to think if somebody like that had that opinion were with us while that was going on, I think that would have changed their mind. Because it wasn't just the pet ball going off in conjunction with the responses we were getting with the ITC app. It was also the feeling. It was everything.
Oh yeah.
It was everything. Everything. And that was creepy. And that was cool. It was something else. That's for sure. What did it say that time?
I'm right here. But she didn't know that because she's been up since early.
Yeah,
this
well,
morning.
yeah. April's crashing out. She's been working all day. I had a meeting today. That's about all. Late or early afternoon meeting, but
They had me running all over that place today. I did every job in that facility pretty much.
oh my,
So horrid.
horrid. Oh wow. I love this chatter, guys. That's yeah.
It's agreeing with me.
Yeah, it is. It's horrid. So, anyway, moving on.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy, how are you doing? I don't see that she's on.
It popped up on mine. But she's a personal friend of mine, so that may be.
Oh, that may be. Anyway, hi, Stacy. I'm glad you made it tonight. So yeah, I like to use these pieces of equipment. I mean, come on, guys, have y'all had any real reason to?
It said hello.
Hey, see, it just said hello back, or hello to Stacy. Um, have y'all ever felt like there was any reason why we shouldn't be using the pet balls or the ITC app that we use?
Not so far, because when the pet balls go off, it's terribly relevant.
9 times out of 10, you damn right it is.
When it's not, like whenever we were out at the pet cemetery, the one pet ball that went off
The entire night.
the entire night
Right.
was your pet.
Okay. So, if y'all didn't catch, a few weeks back we had my daughter and also a WP team member, Alyssa, her going away party for going to college. And afterwards, we went to the pet cemetery. So, this pet cemetery is technically on the property that my wife and I take care of. We don't own it, but we take care of it. We were given permission to bury our family pet in the cemetery. So I do have a wonderful pet named Oakley, who is now buried in the Mabry Lions Pet Cemetery that I have investigated on a couple of different occasions. However, the first time my dog Oakley was not in the pet cemetery. The second time she was.
That
And
was kind of a recent kind of.
yeah. Oakley just passed away just a handful of months ago. But anyway, yeah, I see it. So at any rate, we had put a pet ball on top of her grave. It's the only pet ball that went off the entire night. And it only went off when we put it down there. And I was telling, so we had a small audience when we were there that night. As I was telling our small audience that was there with us that night about my dog in the grave, the pet ball was going off. It went off.
It was literally sitting on the stone that was placed to mark.
Yes. Yeah, because right now we just have a stone marking her head grave. My wife is working, if you're watching, on the headstone. Get it done. Look. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's going off again. I need to adjust this camera. Sorry. I don't know if it says live. I couldn't see that we were live on YouTube, but
It's not live
Woo!
on YouTube. I checked a minute ago.
so what am I live on here? It says live. Oh. Ha.
Nobody knows.
Me either.
Well, nobody knows what we're live on.
We're live